Welcome, race fans, to the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series, the Black Magic Design 175, here at the world famous and super fast Talladega for race number 11, and probably for a lot of these drivers out here, the most important race of the year, because it is the final race of the regular season. It all comes down to this: 11 races down, and here we are. This is the final decider for a lot of these drivers to be able to make their way in to the playoffs here. Qualifying is underway. Joining me today, always and wonderfully doing his job, Dave Huckleberry, doing the producing and the shots here at Talladega. Joining me also tonight, we kind of forced his hand. It's Nick Massey. He's going to be joining me here as well to be able to help, be able to give you all the action that's going on track, and there will be plenty of it. We'll have a little bit of playoff scenarios in front of you just a second here. But joining me here, Nick Massey. Nick, we get to these types of tracks, and it comes to a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and then at the end, it all comes out to who's just on top at the right time. But what's your feelings on these Talladegas when it comes to one of the biggest cutoff points of the season?
Yeah, well, first off, it's good to be here. Good to be back in the booth with you. It's been a couple weeks, so it's nice to be back up here calling the race with you, Gerald, and Dave producing. But yeah, first, I'm definitely glad I'm up here versus down there racing for, cutoff spot. It's a super I mean, just going through here, it's just a wild card, and a lot of these guys are right on the bubble. Anything can happen out there, and you're just kind of hoping and praying you keep your truck in contention, have a shot at the end, and have a shot at the making the next cutoff.
Yeah, if it didn't hurt these guys a little bit more that are in that cutoff playoff spot, there's more trucks here than we've had in a little while. We had 36 trucks showing up for today's qualifying, so a lot of points on the line. As qualifying just has wrapped up, we're going to go through the field here before we go off the playoff scenarios. Now, just so you know, when you see your driver with a different colored number, just to give you an idea, black means that they are not really in contention of being able to make it in. They're right now out of the playoff spot. The ones in, I don't know why Dustin Dewar's orange. I don't know what that one is.
Actually, so tonight, if they are in black, they're not able to get in. So the ones in yellow are locked. The ones in blue are currently in, and the ones in red are the last 5 that have a possibility of getting in.
Well, we made it nice and simple for everyone to get an idea. We'll go through those more as the racing is going on here. But, yep, we're going to go through the field here starting. And first, we have some newer drivers here showing up tonight. Tommy Ryan, I believe that's how you say his name. Tommy Ryan in the number 7 truck, qualifying in first. And I think that might be a relative of his, Jeff Ryan, kind of start in second place in the number 36. Corey Abbott is going to be starting from the 3rd spot, and Leighton Norgard will be starting in 4th. The first driver in orange, one of those trying to get his way in, is Dustin Dewar. Really good super speedway driver there. Going to be starting in 5th. Tyler Fody, well-known driver in this Elite Series at the super speedway. It's going to be starting in 6th. Jeff Green will be starting in the 7th position. Cody McCorkle will be starting in 8th. Brandon Key, 9th. Chris Wright in 10th. David Dunwoody in 11th, William White in 12th, Andrew Hardcastle will be starting in the 13th position, R.C. Anderson will be starting in the 14th position, Joe Francis will be starting in the 15th position, Harrison Talon in the 16th position, Ethan Burrell in the 17th position, Mark Rebellis in the 18th position, 19th will be Robert Hill, and 20th will be Kendanoa Player. Starting in the 21st position will be Tate Lytle. Casey Hatch will be starting in the 22nd position. Sam Batwell, 23rd. Gilbert Gamera going to be starting in the 24th position. 25th will be Trey Holmes. Jonathan Cutlip, 26th. Brent Jones, 27th. Michael Goodman, 28th. Justin Wadsworth in the 29th position. Robert Smith, 30th. Frank Fody, that's Tyler Fody's father, starting in the 31st position. Christopher Paff, is that how you say that, Dave? Paff?
Paff.
F in the 32nd position. Trey Eidson going to be starting in the 32nd position. Jesse Racimus in the 34th position. Jaden Racimus in the 35th. And Michael Hossack with the final starting position in 36th. Real quickly, as the cars are going around on the backstretch to go green here, we're going to pull up the playoff scenarios here real quickly, or the points as they run. I think a couple drivers are going to the back for not having their correct banner. Christopher Wright right now leading in the points. The top 14 make it in. Dustin Dewar right there looking to try to find his way in that 15th position. He is not that far out on points. He's just a little over 10 points out, but a good starting position here. It's definitely going to be putting on the pressure to a couple of those drivers like David Dunwoody and Corey Abbott there. So there's two races going on. Well, three. The race for the win, but also that race for the top position in the regular season. That gets you some extra points there, as well as the drivers trying to make it in on that top 14 playoff spot. So we will have to keep an eye on all of that as it goes through. The pace car will be going off here, and we will be going green with 66 laps in this race. A lot on the line. They will have to set pace here. We're going to see how quickly it gets busy. Well, we wait on Tommy Ryan in the 7 truck here as he gets to the restart line. Well, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing, we are green flag here at Talladega, and all the drivers get going here, and already we're going to see some pushing and shoving going on. Side by side for lead now. The question to you, Nick, is how fast do we see these drivers try to make it 3 wide? Do you think they kind of set a tone into trying to line up here, or do you think that it's going to be a cash grab to try to get up to the top?
Yeah, I was about to ask you the same thing here, especially if you guys on the cutoff line here and you see it start to get crazy 3 wide. I mean, you're ex-champion in the, obviously in the Cup Series there, Gerald. What's your kind of take on that? Do you, if things get dicey, they go 3 wide, do you stay up front? Do you drop to the back? Like, how do you play these super speedway tracks?
Well, as you say that, we already start to see some drivers try to get on that cutoff line. If you've got nothing to lose, either you're not racing for anything, or you're so far back, the only chance for you to get in is a win. You may try to find your way up to get up to the front. Now, some drivers have a tendency to believe that if you're up front, it's the safest spot to be. So that's what I think Dustin Duer's up there trying to do, trying to push that number 12 truck into the lead, running in that second position in that middle lane there. He's going to try to see if he can stay up front. It all comes to a mindset of some of these drivers, but already we're starting to see Pro Edge trying to get that outside third lane going here early on.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it get pretty crazy here early on. You got a lot of guys on the field that aren't in playoff contention. They got nothing to lose. They're going to go 3-4 wide. You got guys like Chris Wright. You saw him. You mentioned Gerald shot straight to the back. Got nothing to do with this. And you see already 3 wide here.
Yeah, Dustin Dewar decides to jump up to the high side with his teammate there of Jeff Green. Jeff Green right on the back bumper of his teammate, trying to get that outside lane going. He saw what Pro Edge was able to do up there in the top of the 37, and now it looks like they're going to be rocketing themselves up in contention of the lead here. But good 3 wide battling all through the field here.
Yeah, and it's at this point, you're looking at Ethan Burrell there. He's 10 to the good. He's up there top 3 wide in the middle of this pack. If I'm him at this point, I'm looking for a way out. It's already too crazy for me, in my opinion. I want out. I want nothing to do with it. You see they start to go back double file here. That top lane not really working. Falling apart really quick.
Yeah, without any backing, Dustin Dewar there and Jeff Green have dropped back, but they have found a line in behind their other teammate there of Goody, as they have all lined up on that outside lane. So looks like the third lane couldn't hold up for a long period of time. As we say that, Pro Edge is once again trying to see if they can rocket around the outside by themselves. As you see, one of the drivers on that cutoff line dropping to the back, that's Corey Abbott. He qualified in the top 5, but now is going to try to see if he can get to the back of the field there to play it a little bit safer here as we reach to almost 5 laps into this race.
Yeah, and I think you'll probably see that third lane kind of come into play here in a lap or two. You got Cody McCorkle in that 2 truck and the 7 truck there of Tommy Ryan. You know, once those 2 trucks get hot, they can't push those lead trucks anymore. Tyler Cody, and that's when that top lane's going to really get their momentum up.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, it is tight racing up here, but very clean. No drivers are directly pushing each other in the middle of the turns, and that's always a good sign of some clean racing here, and a very good sign of how competitive these trucks are. I always said the trucks is one of the best drafting package that iRacing has, and it's showcasing it right here as we are 3 wide for the first like 8 rows.
Yeah, this is a wild start to this race. These guys are just, they don't care if they're in the playoffs or not. They're all going for it up here. They got top 20 or so in that pack, like you mentioned, all 3 wide.
And it is all sorts of talent up here. You got drivers that you don't get to see too often, like Goody on that very high lane there. See in the middle there as you're on board with Cody McCorkle. Right in front of him is Leighton Norgard. And then you have, if not one of the fastest drivers in Elite that leads most every race on the very bottom. So you have just a mixture of different types of drivers, and some people feel this is their best shot to be able to get a win in the year, and they're not going to miss out on it. So you're seeing right here, drivers are very up to racing right now. Is Goody able to get a shove and be able to clear the first 3 rows here, and he's going to drop all the way down to the bottom. But here comes Tyler Fody now whipping around to get into that middle lane, not willing to stay behind Goody there, as he's going to be able to now rocket himself up and lead this lap on lap number 6.
And you mentioned that mix of cast you see, tracks like Talladega, Daytona, and Atlanta now. You know, that's another factor in a race like this too, is that you get guys that you don't normally race with. You don't know what moves they're going to make, how they're going to react to certain things, you know, whether you push them hard, whether they can take a push. So that's another factor. All it takes is one guy to misjudge how another guy's going to react to something, and that can trigger a huge wreck.
Another driver dropping down there, a couple of them. Looks like Goody got up to the front, and he said he's done it. He's willing to drop back for now, as he dropped. But we have a new driver leading that middle lane there. That's the 43 there. That's our English driver, William White. Last time around, he was in 10th position on track. And this time around, coming to the line, it looks like he may lead it. So as quickly as from 10th place to 1st place, the 43 truck able to get up to the front with the help of Dustin Dewar right behind. Good racing here, but still very clean. We got a few drivers trying to work their way up through the middle lane there. We have a Sam Batwell trying to work his way behind Jeff Green, a few other drivers as well. It looks like our leading pair has dropped back. That one of our leaders was, I believe it was, I don't see him on there now. Our 2nd place driver has dropped to the back of the pack there. He's a new driver. The other driver that started up in the front position is that number 7 truck. He's now finds himself behind Tyler Fody. But now, Nick, you can tell everyone, there's not much you can do when you're on that bottom lane, about 3 or 4 rows back. What can you really do in that position when you're running around on a track like this?
Not much, and especially in these trucks where you're just kind of stuck down there. You can't go any lower, you can't go any higher because you got trucks to the outside, so you're just kind of boxed in and waiting for a hole to get up to the middle. I think is once you drop down to that bottom, you're just trapped. And this is gonna get real interesting here in a second. We got a lap truck. Frank Fody, I believe, started from the pits or lost the draft. We're gonna catch him right here out of turn 4. I don't know how they're gonna make this work. Where Frank's gonna go?
Oh boy, yeah, it looks like he's opting to want to run that very high side. Now they will be coming towards the front straightaway, which will allow for a little bit more space, but not much. We are seeing the middle lane starting to rocket forward. I would guess if there's anywhere you would want to be 4 wide, that front stretch is probably the best spot to catch them at. There's a little bit more room there, as it looks like they were able to get through clear.
Thank you, Frank.
Well, we're 10 laps into this event. Now, Dave, did they have anything down for stages for tonight's race?
I do not see anything.
So it looks like it'll be a race through the green. There will be no stages. So 3 sets of tires. Not that that's really going to matter too much for them, as you see. Wow! 37 jumped right down in front of the 43. Just to box down that middle, or that very lower lane there. Ethan Burrell now finds himself out front, and Dustin Dewar jumps to that middle lane. Now R.C. Anderson there in the 50 truck is going to jump in front of the 32, and now going to be trying to get his way up to the front as well. And about as soon as you say it, we have a big cast of characters up front, just like that. Now we have the 37 of Ethan Burrell leading that middle, or that bottom lane. R.C. Anderson leading the middle, and on the very, very high lane there is Holmes. That will be Trey Holmes there in the 88 truck leading that very, very outside lane.
Yeah, that's 2 Pro Edge trucks right there running 1-2, controlling the middle and the bottom, and then you got not too far up there on the third lane is Jonathan Cutlip. So if they get him up there and they get 3 Pro Edge trucks up there, it's going to be tough to take control away from 3 trucks, in my opinion.
Oh, right now, it's pretty even. I don't really see one lane having a super advantage over the other. It's just whatever lane has the most trucks. And it looks like the middle lane had the most, and then they clear themselves, and it evens back out again. As you see, R.C. Anderson now drop down to the bottom. That leaves the do-good cars of Jeff Green and Dustin Dewar in that middle lane, all clear to be able to try to get beside him.
Yeah, in my opinion, in these trucks and Xfinity cars, that middle lane is definitely the preferred lane, and it's kind of just, kind of a line on who's going to get to the lead. I think in a couple laps here, Dewar will probably get the lead, and then after that, probably Jeff Green, and just kind of trading the lead back and forth, whoever's in control of that middle lane.
Now, I've seen Dustin Dewar do really, really good at these super speedways. The only thing he has to be certain of is he can't get into any trouble. Right now, he's in the perfect position to try to work his way in by points. I'm pretty sure he would love to do it by a win, but even right now, points-wise, he's in a really good spot to try to point his way in. But as far as all those drivers that have those red indicators on the side of them, this is a very tenuous spot to be in because it's still very early on. There's no points being awarded, but you definitely want to go out there and showcase that you have speed for the late stages and showcasing that you could be a potential draft partner. And right now we're seeing that with Dustin Dewar there. As you see R.C. Anderson jump up in front of him to be able to try to block that advancement of that middle lane. $14 laps down of the 66 lap race here, and still a big group of cars up front here, and then it kind of goes a little bit single file after that, as drivers just kind of play it cool and safe back there. Right now we have 32 trucks on the lead lap. They are going to be coming up on a group of 3 that will probably be going a lap down here in probably about 4 or 5 laps from now. But that's here to come. Right now, the biggest part of the draft is from 1st to 29th, so it is still a pretty massive pack up here. Now, Nick, as far as like a driver like R.C. Anderson and Ethan Burrell, they have a little bit of a teammate mentality to themselves. How do you've been a part of a big group of drivers that come into race at some of these super speedways? What's the mentality of a big group of drivers that are out there racing against each other, but also somewhat of teammates early on in this race? Is it mainly just trying to work with each other, or is it to do like what they're doing right now and kind of block the lanes to where they become the drivers up front? Ooh, as we see a little bit of looseness up top.
Ooh. Yeah, that was real close. That could have been a big accident. But yeah, I've never really been, first of all, I've never really been up front leading this early in a speedway race. I usually, come up there, I try to stay up there, but I usually end up falling to the back. But, in my opinion, it's you kind of try to work together if you can, but, most of the time it doesn't really pan out. But if you're controlling both lanes like this, I think the plan is to just try to keep you both up there keep you in contention, and just like they're doing right now. You know, one guy runs the bottom, one guy runs the top, and just kind of switch back and forth.
Yeah, we're going to go on board here with Dustin Dewar because he is pushing the paint off that back bumper of the 37. He is on the back bumper harder than anybody. He was on his bumper through the turns there, and he's one of the best pushers I've seen out there, able to give such a really good shove. I think the 37 is not really worried about trying to get down to the bottom. He's been clear for about this entire lap. I think he's just worried about letting Dustin Dewar get that middle lane, but I think he relents it now. As we say that, here comes a two-car tandem on the outside. Wow, really good shove by the 46 into the back of Fody there. Able to get Fody clear of that middle lane, able to get him to drop down. And then, how does that feel for you, Nick, whenever you help get a guy all the way up there, and then now you get left out to dry? How does that feel for a driver like that 46?
Yeah, I think he definitely disappointed right there, but I think he definitely understands. Cody had to make that move, but yeah, I mean, it's just like it's tough. But you know, sometimes you just gotta make moves that, you know, benefit yourself and not worry about the guy who got you up there. It's just kind of throw it all out the window, and you know, unfortunately, the 46 is gonna have to restart all over again, work his way back up there. But all that started, I think, like you mentioned, with Ethan not dropping down and taking the bottom there. That checked up Dewar, checked up the whole middle line, and that allowed Fody in the 46 just get a crazy run up there in that third lane.
Yeah, to give you an idea, David Dunwoody back in his green paint scheme was fourth the previous time across the finish line. This time around, he dropped all the way back to 17th. That's a lot of positions lost in one lap, and that was all due to just being literally left out into a lane where no one was willing to work with him. So, as you can see, you gotta have the partners when you come to a super speedway like this.
And you see there again, 37, Ethan Burrell was clear, decided not to take it. So we'll see what happens here if that third lane forms again, gets a crazy run, because that 40 can only push Ethan for so long here before he starts overheating. So Ethan doesn't drop, that's going to open up the opportunity for that top lane to get a crazy run on him. See him pull low.
Yeah, he drops down in front of Dustin Dewar there. Here comes Tyler Fody with a really good shove from Jeff Green. They're going to have that momentum coming down the back straightaway, but as you see there, Dustin Dewar right on the back bumper of the 37, giving it all he can handle right now.
And here comes Trey Holmes up top. That third lane being pushed by Cutlip. They got to run.
Yeah, they came all the way back from being outside the top 15, and just like that, able to work their way up to the front on that outside lane there. So
they're pulling that 46 at Dunwoody too. Pushed Fody, got him up there, contending for the lead. Dunwoody's back up here in the top 10 now, running up third in that outside lane.
I think that just showcases to you just how good the draft package here in the Truck Series. Like I've said, it is one of the best on iRacing. Now, you said you were glad to be up here in this type of scenario, but when you see a draft package this good, don't you wish you were out there with nothing to lose there, Nick?
Oh, with nothing to lose, I'll definitely be out there any day. But when you're points racing here at Dega, it's just so stressful keeping track of everything, keeping track of where everybody is. You kind of just got to do your own thing and not worry about it, you know, because you won't really know until the end of the race, you know, unless somebody gets caught up in a wreck. But you have no idea what the point situation looks like. It's changing every lap, every corner. It's just a crazy wild card race to have as a cutoff race.
Absolutely.
I love it though. As announcers, we love it. Driver, not so much.
It definitely, until the very last couple inches, maybe not even to there. I think last season, Nick, we literally had the decider factor for making it into the playoffs at Talladega decided by, what was that, Dave? Maybe like a couple feet. It was decided by with a driver going sideways across the line to be able to work his way in by points. I think maybe it was not a play. It was for a cutoff to get into the championship. I think that's how Ethan Burrell lost it, being able to make it into the final 5 drivers in the playoffs. Ethan Burrell lost it at Talladega with a driver going sideways across the line. I remember it now. But good racing up here still. The top 3 lanes, or top top lane there, driven by now it looks like 5 drivers getting up there. It doesn't seem like that outside lane needs a ton of cars to make it work to get them up there, but there's at least a minimum of 3 or 4 drivers to make it competitive to run that very high side lane. What are you saying?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because we've seen it before where they're running like this. They're competitive, matching the lead car in the middle and the inside, and all of a sudden that top lane just falls apart. So I'm not really sure what's causing that. It's just a wild factor, I guess, here at Talladega. But the teams start to fall back and truck link right there, but they'll get it all back probably here. But we saw it just integrate like that, earlier in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, they are starting to fall back a little bit. They're able to surge, and I don't know if it's due to how hard the second place in line is having to push, if it starts to overheat. But it usually ends to fizzle out after 3 or 4 laps if they can't able to get up to the front there, as a lot of shifting and switching around is happening in the first 2 rows there, as looks like now Dustin Dewar able to get up front now in front of Ethan Burrell and Tyler Foote.
Yeah, I think part of it too with that top lane is I think the Cutlip's been behind Trey Holmes on the 88 for so long now. He's starting to get a little hot, can't push as much. And on the outside, you got to be able to push almost constantly because you got to take that longer way around, that wider arc through the corner. So you got to be able to run a little quicker and see it right there. They're losing a little more ground. I think Cutlip's just a little too hot.
Yeah, so maybe you don't need as many drivers on that very outside lane, but the driver that runs in second has to be able to have the push to make it work. If he ends up getting hot and unable to stay connected to the leader, it will fail every time, it looks like. So that's something that these drivers are learning now to see if they can benefit them later on. Down the back straightaway, Jeff Green leaves Ethan Burrell out to dry, and they are still 4 wide. Oh, this is very scary. And it looks like a hole opened up for Ethan Burrell to drop in behind Jeff Green. But Ethan Burrell will remember that, as Jeff Green did not give him an inch. He took it.
They definitely did. Just saw Ethan leave a little bit of a hole there, and Jeff just went right for it.
Went right for it, and now look who has to have help from behind Jeff Green. Now is reliant on Ethan Burrell to make it work. I think everyone kind of checked up a little bit as they also are catching up on some lap down cars. I think everyone was a little bit afraid of what was going to happen there, but now they have to worry about vehicles battling for a lucky dog within their midst, because those drivers going a lap down are still racing for something, and they're probably going to be racing within the pack to be the first driver 1 lap down to receive the lucky dog. So I think we're going to be adding a little bit more on the line here as this pack grows just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, one of those lappers, I mean, Justin Wadsworth, he's 26 points above the cut line, but by no means safe. And, we just saw him go a lap down here back in 31st position. So he's going to have some work to do to make sure he's a sure lock here.
Well, he also sees that his competitor that's trying to get his way in is running second. So right now, he is not in a good spot. If it was to end right now, he would be out of it, and Dustin Dewar would definitely be in at this point. But the racing is by no means done. We still have 40 laps left in this race, as Tyler Foote is able to get into that middle lane, with Cody McCorkle now pushing to try to get him back out front.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that group lost the draft by accident or intentionally trying to lay off this 3 wide action, but now they blended right back in it. So if that was the goal to get out of it, I mean, now you're right back in where you don't want to be.
And for first time in the top 10 that I've seen in a while, Mark Rabella's able to get himself in. He just now ducked to the bottom lane there. He now enters into the top 10. So there's definitely a lot of shaking up happening here, as it looks like Jeff Green is going to lead that middle lane there. It was able to get clear of Cody McCorkle and once again leave Ethan Burrell out to dry, as Ethan's being a good sport. He's been pushing them, but Jeff Green's not responding with much love here early on. Looks like that third lane's trying to form up again. It's just not able to get connected very well there, and they still haven't been able to work their way back up there. But right now, our first 2 rows are pretty strong here. But as we stated, there's going to be other drivers trying to race for this lucky dog. We already said that Frank Foti was back there. He went a lap down. Jesse Racimus, Justin Wadsworth, and now Jaden Racimus also a lap down. They're all going to be racing to try to be that lucky dog contender. And the one leading that right now is Frank Foti in the 41.
You have to wonder if that pack of lap trucks that they came up on, if that allowed the bottom lane to surge a little bit, kind of broke up that 3-wide action, or if these guys might be, getting ready to pit here in a couple laps, trying to work their way to the bottom, because pit stop coming up shortly. I think the fuel window is going to be tight if I'm looking at the numbers correctly here. I'm not sure if they can one-stop this, or they might have to top off again, but it's going to be real tight.
Yeah, it's gonna be questionable to see. Halfway would be right around 33 laps, so they're about 4 laps away from the halfway point. And we've been green from the very beginning, and it's been very clear. I would have to say you're pretty right on the dot there, Nick, as it looks like a lot of people are starting to space out and try to get down to that bottom. I'm not sure if these drivers are going to be able to...
Whoa!
Wow! The Englishman gets super sideways there. Oh, that was William White there. He was sideways in the middle of that turn, able to keep it going, but boy, did it really pack everyone up just a little bit there, as he got a little touch from behind and went up the racetrack and kind of blocked a lane there.
Yeah, I think that all started with people trying to get down to that low lane. Everybody trying to single file out here.
Now, the question is that, I mean, are these drivers able to get to at least the 33 lap, the halfway point? You would definitely, if you're trying to make it to the end, have to get to at least that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of drivers are queuing up here about maybe pitting here in a couple laps, but especially if you're leading like RC and Tyler Foti, if you're up there leading, you're losing a lot more fuel than these guys that are running in the pack all the time. A lot of off throttle time back there. So we'll see who comes and when they have to come early. But
now,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, most people don't understand that what they're about to do right now is some of the most important bit of driving you can do. It could be the end of your race as the 41 and the 70 are hitting each other for the lucky dog position. Sorry about that. I was just watching the 41 and the 70 go into a fisticuffs down the front straightaway, bouncing off each other. But like I was saying, they're about to come to one of the most difficult and the most important parts of super speedway racing. Never mind, we have a spin down the back straightaway. The 97, Corey Abbott out of nowhere slams into the 97 of Robert Smith. And I think that might be night over for Corey Abbott.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's on running that bottom lane. He tried to check up, maybe got a little tag on the back, couldn't miss it. But yeah, everybody just kind of fighting for position there, fighting for the bottom.
As we're watching here.
I was looking left, so I don't think I tracked left any.
Looks like the 97 might have come up just a little bit, and they're just running so tight to each other's doors right there. There wasn't enough room.
Yeah, and then here comes Corey Abbott. Bam! I mean, just slammed him. And Corey Abbott, unfortunate for him, he was right on that cutoff line.
Yeah, you see, he can't see anything. You got the giant spoiler right there on the Tate Lytle machine, and you see a little bit of smoke.
Oh, he got bumped. He definitely got hit from behind there. We'll have to do an outside view of that. And right behind him was the 22 truck there. That was Andrew Hardcastle.
And these guys can't see anything until they're pretty much right on it. Not a lot of smoke from that spin.
Now pit stops are underway. I was about to say pit stops under green is some of the hardest things you could do, as you could definitely you won't win from it, but you can definitely lose from it. But we're not going to have that scenario now, as drivers are going to essentially be able to pit here and make it all the way for the next all the way till the checker flag here. But real quickly, while this is going on, we're going to go ahead and do our commercial break here.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, we thank TA Services making all this possible. Our race sponsor tonight is Black Magic Design. I have to make sure we did it tonight. Black Magic Designs is a small team of custom iRacing car painters and photographers dedicated to a quality customer experience with paint starting as low as $15 per car. Find us on Facebook or Discord, Black Magic Designs, where the paint is worth 2/10. Our series sponsor is the Stay Tuned Sports podcast. Stay Tuned Sports was started in 2016 by two friends, even though hating each other's sports teams, with the purpose of producing a sports show like no other. They wanted to create a show that would cover all major sports with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Stay Tuned Sports releases weekly episodes covering NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, and even some college football. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, then this is the show for you. Stay Tuned Sports, your home for sports nonsense. TA Services is a premier sponsor. For 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you, but the TA Services team makes ship happen for you. Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. Constraints catalyze creativity. We help businesses punch above their weight class. And finally, the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25-mile NASCAR Cup Series track, also hosts the Craftsman Truck Series and an open wheel series, a 2-mile infield road course that is used by Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, a quarter-mile NHRA drag strip that hosts the Midwest Nationals event, and the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. That's our sponsors for tonight, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dave, as he gave us a 24-hour feed of Corey Abbott's car on pit road, dead as can be.
Hey, you can't read and click buttons at the same time. I've told you that a million times.
I'm joking with you, Dave. Looks like Jesse Racimus in the 70 truck was able to get the lucky dog, so he won that lucky dog award. Literally going fisticuffs with it to be able to get that point. But we're going to pull up the points real quickly as they are about to go green here, and give you an idea of what we're looking at. So the 14th driver is the one that's on that little bit of a cutoff part. I'm looking to see where Corey Abbott was 13th. So not good. He's not technically out of it just yet, but Dustin Dewar only needs to score, 18 points on him? Yeah. So not good for Corey Abbott in his point scenario here. As looks like we're going back green here. Looks like Tyler Fody going to be leading that bottom lane, but with a strong surge of 5 cars, or 5 trucks on that outside is RC Anderson. A lot of drivers came back down pit road to be able to top off on fuel, and iRacing makes them line up onto the bottom lane. So that's why only 5 drivers were on that very top lane. Everyone else from about 8th on back pitted one more time just to get a little bit more fuel to top off in case of a green-white checkered at the end may occur. And right now, looks like RC Anderson able to get back down now to the outside lane is Cody McCorkle in that 2 truck. Still some good, strong racing. And here comes the 3rd lane. Once again, Cutlip has probably been on the top side more than anybody. Wouldn't you say, Nick?
Yeah, he's been up there most of the night, either leading it or pushing somebody, but he's trying to make it work up there. So far, hasn't been able to get all the way up there. They've been able to get pretty much even with the leaders, but then not complete the pass. So we'll see if just him and it's been pretty much him and Trey up there, I think, all night too. Trey's, it's been either one of them leading the thing. They kind of swapped a couple times, but see if this attempt is successful as they're trying it again.
1/10 of a lap.
Yeah, now to go to the outside up there is the 33 there. That is, I think that's Key. Yes, it is. That's Brandon Key there in the 33 truck trying to jump up to the outside and give a helpful push to that outside lane. As the drivers have quickly stacked back up from that long single file line that they had, as they have reached 40 laps left to go in the, or no, not 40, 30 laps left to go in this event. So we're over halfway already in this race. Only 1 caution, and really that only affected really 2 trucks as far as having damage. One of them out from that, Corey Abbott. And other than that, we really have not seen the big one, and we will use the word yet.
Yeah, this is going to get interesting here because Justin Wadsworth going a lap down again here. They're going to catch him in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, Justin Wadsworth was on the lead lap. He took a wave around, so he's going to go back to being a lap down. I think he stopped on pit road to fuel up. He's going to go 1 lap down now, but he has fuel a full fuel load. 41, wow, what a save by, I think that was Frank Fody. Oh, wow.
I can't believe he hung on to that thing. That thing was all over the place.
Yeah, Tyler Fody's going to be proud of his dad on that one. That was a heck of a save by Frank Fody. He doesn't race that often. I think this is his 3rd or 4th ever race, and wow, what a miraculous save that even a veteran would be proud of right there. So good job on his part because he's still battling. He's now going to be battling with Justin Wadsworth to try to get that lucky dog. He lost it to the 70 the last time, but now he has a new competitor to go up there. He has to try to see if he can get around that 19 truck, which is now leading the lucky dog contender.
And we talked about Trey Holmes up there with Cutlip. Looks like he's maybe going to get clear here.
Oh, he's going to get a shove himself from Brandon Key there. They almost got clear. The 11 almost was able to drop down. They may still have a shot down this back straightaway.
They got to run here. Oh, 88. Not with him all the way, though. A little bit of a gap there. No, he wasn't able to push him all the way.
Clear. Come.
Now they're going to have to worry about it overheating, so the 88's going to be backing up. And we're going to see if that outside lane's going to be able to keep up as the 11 had a little bit of a blink out, but back now into the race. Still on the bottom there is Tyler Fody. Right behind him is a very good run by Mark Rebellis there. Able to run there right behind Tyler Fody. In the middle lane is RC Anderson with Cody McCorkle behind him. And on the very high side there is Jonathan Cutlip with Trey Holmes running right behind him. But they are now quickly losing touch with the bottom 2 rows below. Ooh, is Brandon Key is zigzagging. He's zigzagging down the back straightaway. RC Anderson, wow, that's peculiar. He jumped up to a falling outside lane in front of Cutlip and allowed Cody McCorkle to be able to get up beside him, and that allowed the bottom lane able to surge, and that released Jeff Green from that bottom lane to now jump up in the middle lane. And I think that's exactly what Jeff Green was looking for, to be able to clear himself out of that outside lane and now work himself up to battle for the lead here.
The outside lane surging right here. RC
Yeah.
getting a push from Cutlip.
And Cutlip had no heating issue. It's being running up front, able to hook up to that back bumper of the 50 truck. Now is able to rocket that 50 truck well in front of the lead there. That allowed him to drop down now to be in front of Jeff Green there. Now we'll see if the 11 is able to do so. I think the 11 is just too loyal to the 88, and it's hurting more than anything.
Yeah, I know RC and Cutlip are pretty good friends. I'm not sure if they're teammates in this series, but I thought the goal there was to maybe go up there and get the 11 clear up on the high lane, but couldn't do it, and then RC dropped right back down.
And the battle for the lucky dog has heated up. Side by side, the 41 and the 19. 41 able to get ahead, so he is now in that lucky dog position right in front of the 19. Again, that is very important for the 19 because he's not extremely comfortable on points as well. He would definitely love to be up there rather than be able to get back on the lead lap rather than being stuck a lap down. So right now, big implications points-wise between the 19 and the 41 right here.
Yeah, I think the 19 tried to take the wave around and maybe catch a quick caution with only a couple laps of fuel, but couldn't do it and came right back down pit road, so gave that lap back up. But you know, if you're stuck there a lap down, I mean, it's kind of worth the risk because you know, you'll probably blend right back in this pack after you make that pit stop. So
yeah, it didn't hurt him. It didn't help him. It didn't hurt him. He's back right into the same position he would if he would have pitted earlier. So 19 took a gamble that wasn't really much of a gamble since the worst case scenario, he still have to pit and be in the same spot that he's in now. So good try on his end to be able to try something there, but we'll see how it all plays out. Again, he desperately needs to get back on the lead lap here. And the biggest thing is he's in the middle of this big pack. It'd be one thing if you're racing in this big pack, trying to get some points or go for a win here, but he's just racing and putting himself in danger just to even get back on the lead lap. As the sun's a little bit behind clouds for the first time today, they got a little bit of shade. There may be a little bit better handling. We'll see if that changes how the handle is for him and see if that outside lane can be able to pick up some more of a run here. Right now, Jeff Green leading this event. Yes, that's Jeff Green, the Xfinity champion from 2000. You might have known him from the next quick car. The number 10. He is out here racing with these drivers as Tyler Fody now is going to go side by side with him down the back straightaway. Here comes RC Anderson to try to see if he can be able to take a back. Oh, as you see back there, I think that was the 49. I think that was Brent Jones. They got sideways, able to collect it and keep going. So not a real big issue there as they are able to keep going here. But that did space it out just a little bit from the big pack to the rest of the drivers back there.
yeah, I'm not sure if that's. I think it might have started with a bad push from the 99 of Rebellis to Jeff Green there.
Oh, the couple drivers decided to go down that maybe were not clear. The 11 Cutlip went down, the 88 followed, but the 12 was still there. They went back up as they quickly realized that was about to be a wreck. As now the 11 once again has the bottom lane clear, but doesn't want to leave his teammate there and the 88. But we'll see here. I believe the 88 might be clear as well if they want to, and they still are deciding to stay on to the very outside lane.
Is the 27 a key also teammate? Is that why they're not trying? They don't want to ditch their third teammate there?
I don't think he is, so I'm not sure. I think Ethan Burrell behind Brandon Key is, but I highly doubt that they're trying to get him clear as well. Wow! RC Anderson ripped off a little bit of white paint jumping in front of the 11 there to clear himself of that outside lane. RC Anderson is going to get a shove here from Cutlip on that outside lane. These trucks are able to put a lot of pressure onto the back bumpers of the ones in front of them. More than I've seen just about any race car in iRacing without it completely upsetting the truck. And these drivers are getting more and more bold about doing it. They got to be careful because there's always a tipping point, and the tipping point is always discovered in a bad time. It usually ends up being a bad time when they find it, but they have yet to do that. But I think these drivers are starting to get closer and closer to that point there.
Yeah, and I don't know if you brought this up before, Gerald, so I apologize, but one thing also that's a factor here is Michael Hosak was, he's sitting there 21 points above the cut line. He didn't even start the race, I don't believe, so he's back there 35th position. So that's going to be a spot for one of these guys below the cut line. I think that puts Dura in before the race, so we'll have to do some more math on that, but yeah, this cut line might have got a little more interesting.
It's definitely gotten interesting here, as there's still 20 laps to go, and we still have yet to see any massive wreck to call yet. But these drivers are, like I said, are really starting to shove each other. And the question is it going to come? Because right now Dustin Dura is in a great spot, but he is not relenting on trying to go up there to get the win. He is still running right there in that middle lane on the third row back. So, I mean, there's still a lot of chances for drivers to lose out on spots and points here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're sitting back there in that second pack, Gerald, I mean, at what point would you say is go time? You're like, all right, like, I got to get up there and get as many points as I can. Is there a certain lap you're looking for? How long do you think it's going to take you to get some spots and work your way up through this main pack?
That's not, it's Dustin Dura almost. He got the 43 right in front of him, right in the wrong spot there as they able to collect it up and keep going there. But that's not the only part that you have to think about, Nick. These guys up here have been drafting this entire race. They know what they can do and what they can't do out on the racetrack. They've been able to race side by side. You know who you're racing with because you've been doing it for all these laps. And then all those drivers that are running right around in the back, you haven't seen the entire race. And then it gets closer to the end of this race, and then they feel like they need to get up there. And now all of a sudden, all the drivers that you know their driving style, you know how the truck handles, you know how they race, all of a sudden you get a bunch of drivers up there that you had to race with all day, and sometimes that's what ends up causing the wreck, just not knowing some of these drivers that are racing back there. Maybe they don't know how hard they can push, or maybe they don't know the limit of where their trucks are at on the racetrack, and they haven't done it all night. So there's a lot of factors to play out here before the end of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another factor, I'm looking at some numbers for fuel. I don't think we're out of the window on some of these guys maybe not making it, especially if they're up there leading, like RC and these guys up here duking it out for the lead. I think they not making it.
And there might be a few drivers that have to start saving a little bit before the end, but we saw almost the majority of the field, other than about 8 drivers, come down to top off. So other than about 8 drivers out there, they're pretty clear to the green there. But I think it's just the factor of the wreck that's really keeping it from being the entire pack being clogged up here. But as we say that bottom lane is starting to surge there. So you do have to wonder if maybe there are some drivers trying to save a little bit. So we say that Tyler Fode jumps out to the outside with the help of one of those drivers that have been hanging out in the back. We haven't said much of. So maybe now is the time to go. But Tate Lytle sure thinks so, as he's able to push the 40 up front here. So now Tate Lytle, one of those drivers that been hanging out in the back, now works his way up front. So I think the go time is starting to come here.
It's kind of looking like it. Some guys are fading, some guys are starting to work their way. Come down to 16 laps to go. So yeah, I think now's the time where I'd be looking at maybe starting to work my way up there, because you have no, like you mentioned, you don't know how long it's going to take you to get up there. You might have to spend some more time trying to work 3 wide, work some moves. To start getting dicey here when everybody's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see here, Tate Lytle now jumps to the outside past Tyler Fode. That outside, or the middle lane there, really surging now, as it looks like RC Anderson and Tate Lytle now drop down to the bottom. That leaves Dustin Dura there alone in that middle lane there. Going to see if he can be able to work his way up there. Tyler Fode, I guarantee you, if he can clear himself, he's going to jump back up to the high side here. He's not quite clear yet, as it looks like Dustin Dewar is able to get a push and a little bit of run. I don't think Tyler Foden's going to be able to make a move just yet, as now our Dustin Dewar are able to get side by side with the leader. Here they come to about 14 laps to go in this race. Third lane's been trying to form, but I think we're going faster than we have all day, because the third lane is unable to get any kind of run because it's just going so fast up front. Everyone's full throttle right now up here. They are not slowing down. They are really, really pushing. As we say that, here comes Jeff Green trying to get that outside lane to work, as well as the 11 truck, which is, I think it's almost strange not to see him in the third lane at this point, as Cutlip is trying to get Jeff Green going on that very high side lane. Well, buckle up, as here they come to 13 laps to go in this race. There is still a lot on the line. There's drivers trying to get to lead the overall standings before the playoffs come to get that extra point. There's drivers that want to get the win tonight just for the glory of victory here at Talladega. And then you got drivers trying desperately to work their way in points-wise, or maybe even get a win to be able to get themselves into the playoffs, like a Sam Batwell there in the 47 in that middle lane there. So a lot of drivers with different storylines coming into this, but all comes out to this on the racetrack. Hard racing, 3 wide as they go through the track here, and as we get closer to the finish line, the racing is only going to intensify. Dustin Dewar able to clear himself now. Is going to drop down in front of Tate Lytle there. That's going to leave Sam Batwell with a lap down truck right behind him of the 41. Tyler Fode's probably seeing his father go by and going, "Why are you helping them?" So as he's helping the 47. Oh no, 3 wide.
Oh, there they go.
RC Anderson into the wall. Jeff Green. Oh, the 43 around. Cutlip around. 46 around as well into the inside wall. Cutlip hard into the inside wall. A few drivers there. It all started with Frank Fode getting out wide, then tried to get back into line, but the line was already formed underneath them, and then it all piled in together.
Yeah,
that's our big one. Yeah, that was the big one that we've been waiting to see all day. It all happened right into the tri-oval here. You'll see here the 41 gets way high. Brandon Key goes down low. RC Anderson came up a little bit too, and then they hooked. Jeff Green nowhere to go, destroyed. Cutlip, Mark Rebellas, the 43, 12, 88, 37.
Yeah, Dunwoody, who was right on the cut line, it was in it pretty bad.
Yeah, Dunwoody hard into the inside wall. He's able to keep going, but he hit very hard into the inside wall there.
I'm going to deem that a racing incident. The 27 and the 41 works together to take out the field.
Yeah, you see there, just kind of piled together. It's going to be considered a racing situation there. As, yeah, you see David Dunwoody get hooked a little bit. Oh, the 95 barely got tapped. I think, oh, wow, he saved it from hitting the inside wall. But David Dunwoody hard into the inside wall. Well, we had mentioned it. It was starting to get a little bit crazy there, but that was more of a racing situation. That wasn't really bad pushes or anything. It just kind of came down to 2 drivers trying to get the same spot, and 1 driver already in that position. So nowhere to go. But that will definitely affect the playoffs in a little bit here. I think the driver that's gotten the lucky dog on that will be the 19 of Justin Wadsworth. So lucky for him, he's going to be able to finally get back on the lead lap here. See pit stops underway as drivers are going to be trying to get their repairs fixed, or maybe try to have some fresh tires to be able to maybe have an advantage there at the end here. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can bring up a driver like Corey Abbott here. We're going to bring up Corey Abbott to talk to us here. Let me see. I thought he asked to be brought up, and I can't get him to pull up.
Isn't that tricky?
Well, he asked to come up, and I can't get him to come up here. Well, Corey, if you can hear us, how about you get into the waiting room, and I can be able to pull you up then. Well, real quickly, we're going to pull up the points here as they run.
We are? You have that?
Well, I mean, not as they run. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The points as they came in, and we'll discuss how they're running. We don't have that
I was
technology.
like, we were talking about that, me developing that. Is like, did you think I developed it in the last 5 minutes?
Well, why didn't you there? We asked for it,
Yeah.
Dave. But, yeah, so, again, where the points are kind of questionable at is going to be right there at the 14th position is the last playoff spot. Dustin Dewar, who's been having a phenomenal race, is running right there. He was running about 6 points behind David Dunwoody. He was running about, about 18 points behind Corey Abbott. And a little bit in front of that, Michael Hossack, who's going to finish last in this race. He was only, 21 points ahead of Dustin Dewar. And Sam Batwell's not that much farther behind Dustin Dewar, who's right on that point as well. So, two drivers that are looking to try to get themselves in and having really good nights of it. Dustin Dewar and Sam Batwell. Corey Abbott's out of the race, as well as Michael Hossack's out of the race. And both of those drivers are all the way down to Michael Hossack being the 36th driver in the race, and Corey Abbott being the 33rd driver in the race. So, not good for them. Now, the question is the 46 able to continue going? And it definitely looks like David Dunwoody is still on the racetrack, even though he's probably going to have a ton of damage here. So, to your question there, Nick, there's a lot going on with the points here as they run.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of math here at the end of this thing once this all gets sorted out, but it's going to be a crazy finish here, especially coming down to a 10-lap shootout.
Well, no matter what, Dustin Dewar and Sam Batwell finish where they're running right now. They're going to be in. With how those two drivers are out, they're definitely going to be in where they're positioned at on track, either by win or by points or whatnot. But right now, Dustin Dewar and Sam Batwell having a very good night of it. Well, we have 10 laps to go, coming to 9 laps to go. Our top 10 is Dustin Dewar, Sam Batwell in second, Brandon Key in third, Tyler Fody in fourth. Really good save earlier on in the race. William White, Brent Jones also up there to the 6th position, trying to get himself in. It looks like Robert Hill is going to be running 7th. Tate Lytle there in 8th. Goody is in 9th. And Trey Holmes in 10th. So those are our top 10 right now as they run. But I have a feeling it's going to probably be a little different by the end of this as they get back to the restart line and the green flag is back out. Here they come to 9 laps to go. Tyler Fody right onto the back bumper there of Dustin Dewar, giving him a shove into turn number 1. He might be able to clear himself going down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, I think if you're Dustin Dewar right now, you're looking pretty good on points. If you're Sam Batwell, same boat like you mentioned. You just don't want to get wrecked at this point. You're trying to make smart moves here. You're up front, running good. You're just trying to do the best you can to save your track position. But the one guy I'm watching here is Brent Jones. He's 35 points below that cut line. I know that's changed a lot with guys not making the race and accidents and stuff like that. But he might get a little desperate here. I don't know. He's almost in a must-win depending on what happens here. So you might see that 49 be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, he is almost surely in a he is absolutely in a must-win situation, but running that very bottom line, he was, he is now behind the 95 there of Robert Hill Jr., who won a cup race was it a cup race, Dave? A couple races ago?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was first.
At a super speedway of all places, too, so he's taking his good luck here on the super speedways and getting it here as we are, 3 wide. Key kind of forced himself in that situation. Here comes the 56. there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on here as drivers are making a lane for themselves, even if it's not technically there. Brandon Key trying to see if he can find a way around Tyler Fode there, but here comes Tate Lytle in the 56 with the help of his teammate right behind him with Trey Holmes, as that third lane is starting to really show some strength here. That kind of died out that bottom lane, as you see Brandon Key now trying to drop down to the bottom, as well as Tyler Fode now and Dustin Dewar there. It is starting to get to the payoff window here as drivers are really, wow, oh no. I thought someone was going to go around there. It looks like Tyler Fode jumps up in front of Tate Lytle there. Dustin Dewar was unable to be able to make a block, as it looks like Fode able to rocket himself out to the front. You'd really hope someone from Dustin Dewar's team would get on the radio and tell him, hey, just finish in the top 10. You don't need to win this. You can get in. But I don't think anyone's telling him any different, because he is still trying to get this win here late in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see guys back there that RC's been up front all race. Ethan Burrell's been up there a lot. They're buried back there. Tate and Trey Holmes, they lost their 2 team cars they had running up front. They're going to have to do it solo here with no help. And see the 14, Casey Hatch, make his way up here. Going to go to the top, trying to make it work. We haven't seen him all night. Out of nowhere is that 14.
Yeah, it's getting tight here. As here they come down the back straightaway. Dustin Dewar able to rocket himself back out front with Brandon Key right behind him, giving him a shove. Brandon Key just lucky to be able to keep going after being stuck in that middle of that wreck and able to get through fairly clean. He is still running up front here now behind Dustin Dewar, trying to push the 32 out front to be able to get himself a clear lane.
You see Dewar moving up to the middle, trying to play both lanes.
Yeah, he jumps up right in front of Tyler Fode. Now he has to play out the back mirror, make sure Fode does not find a lane to be able to get him shoved out. He cannot let Tyler Fode get to the bottom lane underneath him and push him into the third lane there. But here comes some new faces. We said people have been driving around at the back, and we'll be seeing some new faces here at the end, and we're seeing that now, as now the third lane has our points leader. Looks like that's Chris Wright in the red truck on that very high third lane, trying to get going with the 14 there, giving him a shove of Casey Hatt. Tyler Fode able to get out front. Now it looks like Tate Lytle able to clear himself as well, right behind Tyler Fode. We'll see if Tate Lytle decides to try to pick lane. He's going to actually jump up to that third lane.
Here comes Chris Wright.
Yeah, Chris Wright to the back of Tate Lytle. Cody McCorkle able to clear himself. Right behind him for the first time in the top 5 is Joe Francis. He's able to get right behind Cody McCorkle late in this run. 4 laps to go in this race, and everything is on the line here. Drivers are pushing and shoving really hard to try to get themselves somewhere up there in battling range.
Yeah, Tate getting shuffled out there really killed that outside lane, because Tate got shuffled out with no momentum, and Chris in the 42 truck had to pick him up, and that killed that outside lane for now. We'll see if we're going to be able to make a surge here.
Yeah, you'd have to wonder if R.C. Anderson's able to clear himself to get in front of there. Is he going to jump up there? And he does just like that. He's able to jump up in front of Tate Lytle. We'll see if that can get up there. Oh, Brandon Key forced himself to get into that third wide. We're about to go 4 wide. No, Brandon Key able to drop back down in front of Robert Hill. Wow, Brandon Key, I don't know if he meant to do that, but he kind of bobbled everything.
Oh,
Brandon Key around.
There he goes around.
Robert Hill into the back of him. We're still green. He is still, he's okay. He stopped it before hitting the wall, but we are still green up front here. It is still getting crazy. Oh, R.C. Anderson sideways. I can't believe they haven't wrecked yet. They are still sideways as the sound has gone away a little bit there, but yeah, they are still crazy up front here.
Yeah, I can't believe RC was able to hang on to that car, getting a really hard push from Tate. And they didn't really lose a lot of momentum either. I mean, outside lane got broken up a little bit, but they're still right there.
We are 2 laps to go. If they get back to the green or back to the start finish line, it will be a miracle. It will also be the white flag. A lot of smoke from Brandon Key's spin. But here they come down the back straightaway. Cody McCorkle into the back of Dustin Dewar, able to clear Dustin Dewar of that middle lane there. Now Dustin Dewar leading it as he drops down to the bottom. 4 wide a little bit. Oh, 4 wide, definitely.
Definitely 4 wide. Contact.
Oh, contact, and we got a wreck spin. Is the caution going to come out? Yes, it will. At the line, it is a caution before they come to the start-finish line, and that is not what Dustin Dewar wanted, as a few drivers have spun around. We'll try to get a look to see what happened here. A couple drivers are smoking as well. That was a wreck that was building up for 5 laps.
Oh, looks like a little bit of contact right there between the 35 and the 95.
I don't think I'm
Yeah, that was Robert Hill Jr. there, and the and Joe Francis. I think Joe Francis got some heavy contact as well from that front bumper off of the 95. Robert Hill will not be able to back up his Cup Series 1. Oh, net code is what? Yeah, a lot of net code. And then RC Anderson slaps the wall there. We'll have to go. Yeah, Joe Francis just keeps getting hit there. And then the wrecks just keep happening at this point. Joe Francis still getting involved with it. Easy to say Joe Francis's truck is pretty hurt at this point.
It says candidate, so I'm hoping.
Oh, if it says candidate, then you should be good. It normally takes it away right away.
Ooh, Tate Lytle into the side. I'm trying to see who that silver truck is. Goody gets involved there, gets spun. Chris Wright gets involved pretty heavily.
Let's see if I can do some quick math for you.
Oh,
Dusty's coming in?
It looks like Dusty has to come in to get fuel. I don't think he could have made.
That shakes everything up, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of drivers coming down to either get fixed repairs or to get fuel. You were wondering, Chris, or you were wondering if some of these drivers, Nick, that if they could be able to make it on fuel. And we see now that the answer to that is no. Well, let's go ahead and bring up Corey real quick. He finally came in.
Yeah. Never mind now. Tell me to. My father can't make it. Go on, man.
Thank you. I was just about to click it. Corey, we saw what happened on racetrack earlier in the race. How are you keeping track of the points here as it gets closer and closer to this end? I mean, it's getting kind of tight here at the end here.
Yeah, no, I've got it up on a separate spreadsheet. I'm trying to do some quick math here as they go. It's not looking too good though. It's not looking good.
No, just kind of a bad situation, but that's kind of what you expect when you come to a Talladega as a cutoff race. Some people are going to love it, and some people it's not going to work out for them.
Yeah, it's a shame. I love Dega, but I've had some pretty terrible luck here recently, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you get closer to this end here, we'll keep in touch with you and try to see where you're at running in points-wise. I know this is rough for you for sure, as you're one of the more consistent ones in the truck series, and this definitely does not bode well for you as it gets closer to the end of this and everything starts to shake up. It's kind of desperate situation that you're relying on misfortune of others essentially at this point.
Yeah, it hasn't been the season I've wanted at all. It's been pretty up and down, mostly down. Yeah, if we don't make it, I mean, I've got 2 guys in who I think have a good chance to do something. I've got a Leighton up front. Hopefully he can sneak in a win. Yeah, just as long as Fody doesn't win another one, I'll be happy.
Well, we'll see how that goes. He's already leading right now. You know how these super speedways get with him, but we appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate it, Corey. Well, I'm sure regardless of how it turns out, we'll still see you very strong and competitive nature in the truck series here before the season out. Maybe we'll get to talk to you a few more times.
I hope so, Gerald. It's always fun to talk to you.
Well, we appreciate it, Corey. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Gerald,
thanks,
they can't see this on the screen, but I'm showing it to you if you want to look at my screen. So as they run right now, I would see the 4 in would be Eidson, Ossack, Abbott, and Dunwoody.
Yeah, but there's still it's a
That's-
super speedway.
Yes, but that's as this moment.
As they
I'm not
run.
telling you
You're
it's going
very
to
good.
finish that way. I'm telling you
You're
as
very
this
good.
moment.
I'm
and
still
that's
waiting.
when you were making his pit stop, correct? So he's
Yeah.
back there in 18th.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for the app part of it so I can download it on my phone so I can keep live timing. But we do appreciate that, Dave. But yeah, as you say, they right now that pit stop put Dustin Dewar back in 18th position and relatively out of the playoffs if it was to end now. What Dustin Dewar needs to do desperately is to find some way to get up front. So that caution definitely went from leading it, coming to the white flag, to being out of the playoffs right now as they run and having to pit and be completely in the back of the pack. So unfortunate for him. He's still got a chance. It's Talladega. You could come from any position and be able to make a ton of spots here late in the run, but his chances of going for a win have decreased quite a bit.
Yeah, and especially I think at this point for him too, I think the key is going to be dodge the wreck because I don't think we're done wrecking yet. So I think his whole goal right here is going to be to make some spots, but you got to miss whatever is going to happen in front of you. Just like you said, anything can happen. But
yeah, you see those guys with the red boxes. They definitely want to be up there to win this event. So we'll see how desperate it gets here, but they are ready to go back green here for the first attempt at a green-white checkered here. That was only our third caution, so relatively clean race for Super Speedway here. But here they come to the restart line. They are green flag once again. Tyler Fode opted to take that outside lane there with Sam Batwell giving a shove, and there's a wreck. 95 around the 19 involved. One of our playoff drivers, the 88. Caution is out. Yeah, the 19 around the 88 involved there. And I think that was also Kendall Noah player around as well. There was definitely some checkups happening, and it just kind of accordioned the thing.
yeah, I definitely had some guys maybe anticipate the start or something happened up there on the inside. Maybe the outside a little bit too, but right there with the Mark Robillas. Trey Holmes gets turned around. 94 is involved.
Yeah, Kendall Noah player made some hard contact. 19 didn't get too bad. He should be able to keep going, but he got pinned a little bit by the 88.
And Dewar was able to miss that. That happened right in front of him. He had to duck low, but he was able to miss it. So
yeah, he's going to gain a few positions from that for sure. And he's pitted. Now the question is, some people may have been good for one green-white checkered.
Yeah, does anybody else have to pit?
Yeah, it just got extended again. And we're not done. It could extend one more time. And these drivers have to be looking at their fuel gauge now. Because we said 8 drivers. And we do have some coming down pit road now.
Cutlip.
We do have some coming down. Cutlip has gone down. So Cutlip sees that he can't make it on fuel. So maybe this does help Dustin Dewar there. He's pitted. He's absolutely guaranteed on fuel. We'll see if some of the others are.
and he's already up to 14th, so that's the 4 spots he needed.
Where's the pace car at? I think the drivers have kind of... Oh, pace car's out of 4. They're all having to gas it. Looks like the 11 pitted too soon. Pace car was not there. We're seeing more drivers come down pit road. Oh, yeah. Tyler Fode coming down pit road. Sam Batwell coming down pit road.
Yeah, we're going to have a full reset now.
What's your little graph have now there, Dave?
I got to get ready to type them all back in. We'll see what we got.
So Dustin Dewar opting to pit immediately and getting the fuel. He may still find a way to get up there to the front here. Now you got to also remember, Nick, there was 8 drivers I stated that stayed out and that didn't come back down from the initial caution to be able to take some more fuel. So we saw, you know, a lot of people come down to pit road to get more fuel. So I think maybe the drivers that were a little bit in a sticky situation were the ones that had originally stayed out.
I'm going to call that restart.
Yeah, this is just gotten super interesting.
But once these guys get all back out of the pit stops and out in line here, if you help me type in these numbers, you can tell me where they're at, and I'll put it in, and we should sort them over there.
And it got me turned sideways, so I had to lift briefly.
I'm trying to see where some of them are even at right now. It's still updating on my end too. Dustin Dewar's worked his way back into the top 10. He's in 10th. Some of the other drivers that were in question, let me see. Sam
Hardcastle
Batwell now
in
finds
14th.
himself in 16th. Yeah, Sam Batwell in 16th. Justin Wadsworth 17th. Brent Jones 8th.
I had Wadsworth locked in. So.
Yeah.
Brent Jones 18th.
Who do you need now?
Jaden Racimus 27th.
Yeah, he's a lap down.
Something, but I don't want to tell everyone else.
And
We
Woody.
won't judge you, man. It's 2023.
David Dunwoody now finds himself
15th.
15th. Yes. He's also stopped down pit road.
Corey Abbott.
But he has-
Is he still in 33rd?
Yeah, he's stuck in 33rd.
Stuck in
He's not.
33rd. Hossack stuck
He's
at the
not
bottom
leaving
as
it.
well.
Yeah, he's not leaving that spot either. Michael Hossack's
parked.
stuck down there. Yeah, he's parked.
Eidson
Let's just
24th.
say The left front tires not going to have any
And
heating.
Okay, there would be the.
yep,
So it'd be Eidson, Hossack, Abbott, and Dunwoody by a single point over Dusty. Did Dusty lead a lap? Does he get a point for that?
yes, he does get a point for that. So it'd be tied.
Did Dunwoody lead a lap?
No.
What else would get you in a bonus point?
That's it. So it'd be a tie right now of Dustin
Neither one
Dewar.
of them got pole.
and- So right now, Corey Abbott would be technically in right now. Correct? Is
I
that
don't
what
know.
you're saying?
No, it doesn't look like. It looks like they're at 214. It doesn't look like it's sorting correct.
Noted 10 form.
Yeah, let me goof with my sort.
If this thing goes
It doesn't
green,
look
I'm gonna
right.
face that right around for
All right. So Dave's going to crunch the numbers for us. But they're lining back up to go green through here. We're going to go through the top 10 just real quickly. Tate Lytle going to be leading that bottom lane with his teammate right behind him of Ethan Burrell. It looks like the top row is going to have Cody McCorkle in the number 2 truck with our pole sitter that we haven't seen much of. Tommy Ryan now finds himself up there with Chris Ripe right behind him trying to make a surge to the front. In that 5th position, a Leighton Norgard on that bottom lane. In the 7th position on that bottom lane is going to be the 99 Mark Rebellis, having a really good run for himself. Driver that's working his way up there, got a little bit of damage from that last wreck, is the other driver that came in to this race as well that I was trying to find. That's the number 36 of Jeff Ryan. He technically started second, but had to go to the back with an EOL. Casey Hatch in the 9th position, and Dustin Dewar running the 10th, and that's our top 10. But I can guarantee you that's not going to be how it finishes. This is our second attempt of a green-white checkered. We still have one more if needed. Let's hope not, but we have one more that these drivers may end up having to take if we get another caution before we get back to the checker flag, or to the white flag here. But here they come to the restart line. Green flag back out. Tate Lytle and the 37 get a really good start on that bottom lane, able to clear themselves of that top lane even. So we'll see if they can make any run to block off. They do. It looks like actually to the dismay of Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell has chosen to jump up to that outside lane and rocket past his teammate. Now Cody McCorkle giving him a shove, and Tate Lytle's dropping back quite a bit. Here comes some runs from the bottom, and here comes a third lane starting to form. Dustin Dewar with the help. Oh, a little bit of tap back there. The 14 is going to be able to find a way back up front. The 33 around. Caution.
Caution
Is out. Tate Lytle, or not Tate Lytle, the 33 of Brandon Key involved in another wreck, and Michael Goodman. It was a situation that drivers were trying to find a way back in onto the racetrack, and they were not able to sort it out.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So you'll see it here with the 14 getting hit by Mark Rebellis. Shoots him back down. 14 and Casey Hatch tries to come back onto the racetrack.
Obviously.
and the 33 just right in front of Dustin Dewar, or in front of Goodman there.
Like that. I was trying to give you room. Fortunately, you just
Well, you really hope you have the gas. That's all I can say.
Just trying to come up fast, but not like lose the draft. I was trying to be like halfway without screwing you guys.
Here we go.
That wasn't really that big of a wreck, but we're gonna see this time around if any driver is gonna come down pit road. Tate Lytle went from leading this thing back to 5th, and Ethan Burrell has rocked himself now up into the 1st position here, as it is starting to get pretty intense up here. When you say, Nick?
Yeah, I'd say so. And now with the last attempt, I mean, before you knew when the race was going to end. Now it could end at any point. Something happens. So I think you're going to see guys be even more aggressive here, if that's even possible.
That is a great point there. That is a really good point. When we're out of attempts on green, white, checkers, it's essentially the next time that they have a caution. And I thought Dustin Dewar was coming back down. Tate Lytle goes down pit road, so we do have a couple drivers coming down. So yeah, if a caution does occur before they get back to the white flag, this is the final attempt. So if a caution comes out, the field is frozen, and that is the finishing result. So it can come at any point now, unless if they get to the white flag, where essentially cautions do not matter. Cautions do not come out at a white flag moment. It can come out on that restart lap. But this helps Dustin Dewar quite a bit, as he's with a rocketing start he had, able to jump up to the outside, and now drivers coming down pit road. Dustin Dewar finds himself in the 6th position. So Dustin Dewar doing an incredible job in a very, very, very tough situation here of having to try to find a way in, and now finds himself in the 6th position with a healthy shot at trying to go for a win here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're going to see here, there's still a lot of racing left to go. There's still 24 trucks on the lead lap. And unfortunate for Dustin Dewar, it is unknown when that end may come. And he just hopes that he is still going straight at the end of it. But up front, Ethan Burrell kind of suckered his teammate. He kind of left him out on the bottom lane, jumped up in front of Cody McCorkle and rode that truck up to the front. And now Ethan Burrell leads this. But I don't know, Nick, is there really any safe spot you can be at? Because the leaders get on the bottom lane don't tend to keep it for very long.
It doesn't seem like there's anywhere safe tonight. I mean, we've seen the wreck happen from the lead. We've seen it happen in the middle. We've seen it happen right there in the back. So there's really wrecks happening all over the place in this race. But I think the other guy we got to watch here is the David Dunwoody machine back there in 16th in the number 46. I'm not sure how that cut line's all going to work out, but I don't know. It's going to be tight.
As I have it right now, it would be Eidson, Dewar, Dunwoody, and Hossack, with Hossack and Abbott actually tied at 214. So have Corey or Michael. Michael we know is locked, and he's not. Corey Abbott lead a lap?
No, I don't believe so.
So I'll have to see what the tiebreaker is to get.
What about Hardcastle up there? Hardcastle's running 8th, so he's having a solid night. See how he can finish this out, but he's below that cut line up there, running pretty well.
We'll see how this all turns out. That would be heartbreaking for Corey Abbott to be tied on the cutoff end. And it's a guaranteed tie between him and I don't know how the tiebreakers decided between the two.
Did Hardcastle lead a lap?
I don't believe so, no.
Or if he would be at 214 if he led.
Andrew Hardcastle's still on the track.
Yep.
He's right now running in 7th.
He can get himself about 2 more places. He might pass up Hossack.
That's true too. So we won't really know. But if you're in a red box, you're going to want to be closer to the front. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
Pace car lights are off. We're going to see how this goes. Ethan Burrell going to choose the outside lane. So learned a little bit something from his teammate. He did not want to be stuck on that bottom lane. As essentially what they have determined.
operation, make it to the white. Is a go.
We still have 24 trucks. I don't know, Nick. Do you think we're going to be able to make it back to the white flag, or are people a little bit too angsty here on a cutoff race here?
Man, I don't know. The way things have been going on these greenwood checkers, I don't know if we're gonna make it back.
I would have picked
I think if we can get past turn 1, we'll have a good shot of it. Up until that point, I don't know. But pace car will be off. The nerves and the jitters are starting to get to them as these drivers are getting to the payoff window here. It comes down to 3 laps around this racetrack, potentially. As they get to the restart line, it will be on that pink number 37 truck on the outside. They get to the restart line, and the green is out. So far, everyone's able to keep going straight here. Now the question is, are they going to get back to the white flag here? Looks like Ethan Burrell gets a really good push by the 42 truck here, but it is starting to get clumped together here. Now Cody McCorkle able to clear himself and get in front of the 37. Now the question is, will the 7 be able to jump up to the outside? Doesn't look so. Here comes the run from that outside lane. Ethan Burrell getting a shove by Chris Wright there in the 42 truck.
Yeah, and all these caution laps, these trucks are nice and cooled down. They're going to be really aggressive on the pushing here.
Yes, they have nothing to worry about blowing them up. They can push as hard as they want to the to their benefit or not. As here they come, they might get back to the white flag here, and then it will be a race to the checkered. At the white flag, they do get the white flag here. Bumping and banging taking place. Now it's push come to shove. Give it all you got, because now it's next time around is going to be the checker flag. Ethan Burrell getting a shove by the 42, the 7 to the back of the 2 truck. Is anyone else going to have a run to the front here? Is anyone else going to have a shot to be able to take that outside lane? Here comes the 70. Here comes the 32. Dustin Dewar going to try to rock it down on that outside lane. And 3 and 4, they're 3 wide. The 2 trucks still leading that bottom lane.
Take it.
It is starting to get tight as here they come out of turn number 4. It's anyone's guess who's going to win this. Dustin Dewar gets a really good shove. He's going to drop down. He's going to put himself in a 4-wide situation at the line. I have no idea. As Ethan Burrell looks like to win it by inches. And a huge wreck at the end of it all as everyone took a large, deep breath and wrecked at the end of it all. It is a crazy Talladega finish here in the Stay Tuned Truck Sports Series, the Black Magic Design 175. Let's take a look here and we'll see how it all turned out. That is one to remember there. That was a 4-wide situation. We're going to take a look at the checker flag line. It may take a little bit before they get there. Wow. Good luck. Maybe slow it down just a little bit there. Here they come at the line there. Wow.
There you go.
Right there at the line. And it's Ethan Burrell, a nose in the middle of a 5-wide situation at the start finish line. A truck turned around behind in that picture. What a picture.
Yeah, what a finish. And we're going to have to wait on points here because the 22 finished 8th. Is that going to be good enough to make it above that cut line? I don't know.
Oh man, that was a heck of a finish. Let's go back one more time here because I think Dustin Dewar is what set up such a crazy finish. He dropped down thinking that he was going to get in front of the 37, but he kind of paused a little bit, and that allowed Ethan Burrell to be able to sneak his way underneath Dustin Dewar.
The last lap.
This was coming to the line. Dustin Dewar drops down, and he should have taken it, but he was a little timid there, and then he had no pushing power behind him. As Chris Wright gets in, oh wow, Ethan Burrell was able to save that. He could have wrecked and ruined his chance of winning that, and then they wreck at the line there. A humongous wreck. Ethan Burrell with nothing on the line, a previous champion in the Truck Series, hadn't won anything, came into the night with just one thing in mind, and that was to win at Talladega for him and his team, and he was able to do it. But look at the top 5. Crazy finish there.
Get your results here.
Well, we're going to go through the field here and get our race rundown here. Ethan Burrell able to get it by 16 hundredths of a second. The first 5 drivers are under a tenth of a second. Unbelievable. No, the first 6 drivers, isn't it? 6 drivers under a tenth of a second. Oh man, only at Talladega will you have a finish like that where it was that close. But yeah, Ethan Burrell able to get it done. Jesse Racimas there came back from the back and able to get that second place. He was lapped down at one point. Cody McCorkle just had it. He led the final lap, but unable to do so at the end, but still comes home third. And Dustin Dewar, kind of a what-if situation. If he would have been able to clear Ethan Burrell and drop down in front of him, he would have won it. But I still think he's in really good position points-wise. I think he might still be able to get it. Chris Wright able to come back to a 5th, and I believe he has locked down the regular season championship to his name. Chris Wright, or Tommy Ryan, our pole sitter, able to come back to a 6th place finish. Tyler Fody is probably going to be disappointed with a 7th place, if you could say disappointed in top 10, but for Tyler Fody, that's a disappointment. Andrew Hardcastle, we'll see how it all shakes up if 8th place is good enough for him, but sideways at the line, that driver came. Casey Hatch in 9th, Leighton Norgard 10th, Brent Jones came back to 11th, Kendall Noah Player 12th, William White 13th, Harrison Talon 14th, Jonathan Cutlip in the 14th position, and 15th was Jonathan Cutlip. Tate Lytle 16th, Justin Wadsworth back there in the 17th position, Brandon Key 18th. We still haven't reached the driver. 1 second behind the finish of the leader. We're still within 1 second here. Trey Eidson in 19th, Michael Goodman 20th, Jeff Ryan in the 21st position, and our first driver finally over a second. What? So far behind. Oh, a little over a second over behind the leader in the 22nd position. R.C. Anderson in 23rd position. David Dunwoody back there in the 24th position. Sam Batweld, got to be disappointed. He was running really good there. Finishes 1 lap down in the 25th position. Trey Holmes, 26th. Jaden Racimas in 27th. Robert Hill, 28th. Joe Francis, 29th. Frank Fody, 30th. Jeff Green, 31st. Robert Smith, 32nd. Corey Abbott, 33rd. Christopher Paff in 34th. Gilbert Gomera in 35th. Michael Hossack, 36th. And do we have any update on the points, Dave?
We do. I can show you on the screen. I can't show the else, but I can.
All right. Chris, give me the drum roll.
That'd be Nick.
Sorry. Nick. Nick, give me the drum roll.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it.
There we go. No, you got to hold down the mic while you do it.
I heard it.
Okay. Alrighty. So here we're gonna just do from 10th on back. Everyone from 10th. Well, we'll go through the field. Winning the overall in the regular season, Chris Wright able to get it over Jesse Racimas there at the end. So Chris Wright will get those bonus points and be the winner of the regular season. Jesse Racimas able to get 2nd place. Jonathan Cutlip was able to finish 3rd in the regular season. Cody McCorkle able to come back past Jeff Green to get 4th place in the regular season. Jeff Green fell back to 5th. Leighton Norgard 6th. William White 7th. Justin Fuller 8th. Joe Francis 9th. Justin Wadsworth 10th. And then this is where it gets very tight and very sketchy. But we're going to go through here for everyone to listen in. In the 11th position, able to get it, Trey Eidson, able to get that 11th position and get himself in. And with a really good run there at the end, didn't get the win, but able to get 12th place in points and able to get himself into the playoff is Dustin Dewar, able to get it done for Do Good. And we talked to him earlier on, was very, very scared about how his chances were, but bad luck came to those that he needed to come to. Corey Abbott able to get the 13th position and get in. And the final driver by 2 points. 2 points over two other drivers that barely missed out. So between 14th, 15th, and 16th place in points was separated by 2 points. That was Andrew Hardcastle getting it in there at the end with a 14th place in the points. 2 points over David Dunwoody and Michael Hossack. Wow. Well, let's go ahead and bring up some drivers in here. We're going to go ahead and bring up our third place driver of the race. That would be Cody McCorkle. Cody, we saw you there at the end. You kind of got the free lane on the bottom. You were starting to make it work very well there. On the final lap, you had to be thinking, I'm in pretty good shot there. And then at the line, you were 5 wide and separated by hundredths of a second. What was that final lap like? And did you even think that you were going to get around to that final lap when it was starting to get crazy there?
I think at first we were kind of like, okay, we're racing for a yellow. And once we got to the line, it was on. But, there's a lot on that last lap I look back at. Wish I would have done a little bit different.
But overall, third place finish for you. You've locked yourself into the championship, or not into the championship, but into the playoffs here to go for a championship. Very good run for you and a lot of momentum. You were able to gain a couple more spots in the regular season there. So you worked your way up all the way, I think, into the 4th position in the regular season. So a good finish here, definitely capitalizing your chances of being able to try to work your way up through the regular season. But we go from 14 drivers down to 4 in 3 races. How's the next 3 races looking like to you?
Yeah, I think you just got to be consistent. Try to not make any mistakes. I think, the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've been doing a little bit better at that. Kind of just making sure I finish races.
Well, overall, good third place finish here. We want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs to thank everyone that allows this to happen, and a good finish for you at Talladega, where you really can't predict anything. And I think you were leaning at the white flag line there, and then came home and you were still able to finish. It's still a good night for yourself. So we want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs to your teams and sponsors.
Yeah, big shout out to Robert, let me drive for him this season. It's been good. Shout out to my sponsor, Martinsville. If you need any tickets, give Davis Warren a call.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations on a third place and working your way up into the playoffs here. And we'll see if we get to talk to you some more and see if you can make a run at a championship here in the Truck Series.
Thank you.
That was Cody McCorkle, able to get that third place finish here in tonight's event by he only missed out by only little less than 3/100ths of a second. So a very close third place finish for Corey. And we'll go ahead and see if we can bring up our second place driver here of Jesse Racimus there, able to get that second place, and you missed out by less than 200ths of a second there. You were pushing Dustin Dewar there, and then he kind of opened a free lane for you, and then you were just trying to do everything you could there to try to get that win, weren't you?
Yeah, I was actually more committed to just pushing Dusty, honestly, but he committed to like a block and then he like decided against it at the last second. I don't know what he was doing there exactly, but yeah, it opened up a hole and I just tried to go high. Hardcastle was pushing me, but I think he got hooked at like the last second, so that kind of broke all momentum.
Yeah, it was definitely a massive wreck there at the end. Hardcastle got hooked right behind you. You were able to get clear of it. And again, you had the closest shot of being able to get that win, but just barely missed out. But overall, you almost took the regular season, but Chris Wright able to come back and just barely get that regular season over you there. But you have now 3 races to be able to try to decide between 14 drivers who's going to be the final 4 to go for a championship. What's the next 3 races here planned for you?
just to stay out of trouble. That was actually the initial plan for tonight. Me and Jaden were actually going to stay in the back, but I don't remember exactly who it was. I was kind of pedaling the throttle just to stay out of the draft a little bit, but keep the draft, and he kind of shoved me down on the inside of Jaden, kind of ruined Jaden's night in the process. But overall, it's just going to be staying out of trouble and getting the best finish possible.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the second place finish here. We want to go ahead and give you your thank yous and shout outs as you're becoming a regular here in the top 3. And we hope that continues going for you to be able to go for one of these championships that are hard to come by in the Elite Series. But we want to go ahead and give it over to you to do your thank yous and shout outs here.
Yeah, I mean, first off, just thanks to everyone here at Elite, everybody here at Elite Racing Network. I mean, you guys put on awesome broadcasts. I go back, watch them every night, and it's always a blast to go through and everything and see that there. But all the admins, Chad puts on a great series. I probably wouldn't stick around, even though there's some quals every now and then. But overall, it's kind of a good place to be.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on your second place. You missed out by a bumper, so maybe next time in the wind tunnel you can make a truck with a little bit bigger front end on it, and you can knock down one of these super speedway races.
Yeah, hopefully one of these races will get a win. It's second twice now in the trucks, so it's coming at some point.
Absolutely, nothing better than if you could get it done at one of the more important races here coming up here and be able to lock yourself down into the Final Four. But congratulations, and well, I'm sure we'll get to talk to you before the season's out here.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That's Jesse Racimus there. We're going to go ahead and bring up our winner here, able to get it done. You had 2 drivers to your outside. You had 2 drivers to your inside. You were sideways across the line with a shove that almost sent you around. Did you know what was coming for you at the end there? Because it seemed like a wasp nest around you there, Ethan.
No, I didn't at all. I just first of all, I want to shout out Chris Wright. I mean, that last restart, I put my trust in him. I took the outside, and it was looking a little bad at first. That bottom line was pulling us, and but Chris just locked onto me, dude, and just sent it. And yeah, no, I thought it was just going to be between me and Cody there, and I mean, halfway through the tri-oval, all of a sudden, I can't see any open racetrack in the mirror. I mean, there's guys everywhere, so I just held on and looked forward, and thankfully, you know, Chris kind of fell off of me a little bit through the tri-oval, and then right before the line, dude, he just gave me that last big shot, and I don't think I would have got the win without that. So, yeah, man, that was awesome. I did not see that 5 wide coming, but I am glad that I was a nose out ahead of it.
Absolutely. Well, again, you came in here with only one thing in mind, and that was get a win, and you were able to do so. I mean, a great Truck Series race win here for you as well. I mean, can you give people at home a little idea of how good the drafting package is with these trucks?
Oh, it's awesome. It's, you know, there's plenty draft that you can build up, you know, plenty of a run. You can make the third line work if you got enough help up there, and the trucks tonight were actually really stable too. So everybody was pretty clean and conservative most of the race, but I mean, you could really lean on people through the corners pushing, and the truck wasn't too shaky. But yeah, man, it was solid. It was fun. I didn't expect to be back up in here talking to you guys, especially not winning. But yeah, man, I had some time tonight, Talladega. I mean, had to show up, and what a fun race, man. Everyone did a really good job. I mean, we ran most of the race green. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was a good showing for the Truck Series here, but overall, a good win for you, and you know, kind of had a little resurgence after, you know, missing out on the playoffs last season at Talladega. It came down to a last lap situation that knocked you out of the Final Four. You kind of had a redemption here, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would. My nice friendly teammates made sure to remind me when we were taking the grid what happened last time I was in a truck here, so that was on my mind. But the transmission held up this time. I did not downshift too early any times tonight, and we made it to the end. We made it there first.
Do you feel like it's made up for it a little bit? Not really.
I
You need a
guess
couple more.
Yeah, this might make me forget about it for a while. But yeah, no, it's a win is awesome, man. In any elite series, and this truck series is just so fun. All these guys, there's a lot of new faces that I haven't raced around, and it's only been one season, with me being out of the trucks full time. So these guys are awesome, man. It was fun, and I hold this win high, man. A Talladega win, and that looked like that was a big deal.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on your victory. Want to go ahead and give it to you to do your thank yous and shout outs, and appreciate you coming back to the truck series to get to talk to us again.
Yeah, for sure. You guys, shout out to you guys. You guys do an awesome job. These broadcasts are always so fun to go back and watch later, and I know anybody watching live has a good time here. Shout out to the Pro Edge Racing guys. We were crazy and wild, ripping the third lane, and most of them crashed out big, but I made it through, and we'll take it. And shout out Chris Wright again, man. That pushing was perfect. It's exactly what I needed. Yeah, and just shout out to my new wife Rachel. We got married almost 2 weeks ago. So first time getting to shout out the wife on here is pretty cool. And
You
yeah.
got to say you dedicate the win to her.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely dedicated to her.
There you go. Now you can go back and go, hey, I dedicated this win that I do. So there you go. Well, again, congratulations to you, Ethan. We'll get to talk to you again here, I'm sure, before in the Elite Racing Network. I don't know if you're able to do any of the other truck races before the regular season. I think you're removed from it. I'd have to see how they rule that. But overall, I'm pretty sure Elite Racing Network at least will be able to get to hear from you again before the season's up.
Yeah, for sure. I sure hope so, man. It's always good getting to come up here and talk to you guys.
All right, that's Ethan Burrell getting it done by 1600ths of a second over Jesse Racimas there. That was really great there. I see more people in the waiting room than I've ever seen before, Dave.
Yeah, I think they're just chatting. Do you want to talk to the regular season champion?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring up the What do you say, Nick? I'll let you interview him.
Sounds good. Chris Wright, what is up? How's it feel to be regular season champ, buddy?
Well, we survived. That's how it feels. It was a crazy race. We rode at the back. The fuel was really close if it would have went green. So there was a group of us that rode back there to save fuel at the start, and we got a caution and kind of right at halfway, so fuel was going to be tight that second run. And then they wrecked a couple times. We got up in there and had to dodge one, and pretty much committed to pushing Ethan there on that green-white checkered. So congrats to him. It's amazing we didn't crash there coming to the tri-oval. I mean, how often can you be 5 wide coming across the line and not wreck until after you get there?
Yeah, what was kind of your strategy coming into tonight? I mean, we saw you drop to the back early. Was that all part of the plan? Things were looking pretty wild there. I don't know how. We only had a couple cautions there running green, but take us through the night.
Yeah, I just, when the race started, I knew it was going to be kind of crazy with this draft package and how big the runs are, and I knew they were going to get 3 wide pretty quick. So I just wanted to go and ride at the back and let it happen. We had a pretty big cushion coming into tonight, and without any stage points, I just wanted to make sure we didn't wreck on lap 20 for nothing when it didn't mean anything. So I don't even think we started trying to race until after that last restart with like 8 or 10 laps to go. So by that point, some of them Jeff Green had fallen out. I think Cutlip had been in a wreck. I think all that was left was myself and Jesse. So at that point, I felt pretty comfortable about going ahead and trying to race a little bit.
Well, again, congratulations on the regular season championship. This is definitely going to propel you to probably being the favorite. I don't know if you like being called the favorite for the championship here, but obviously winning the regular season is a big boost to you. I know you haven't gotten that win just yet. You've been close. So I know you're hunger for it, but we got 3 races left to go to narrow it down to 4 drivers here. Is it just kind of same game plan, or is it try to ride the points to your favor, or is it try to go all out to get the win and lock yourself in?
Well, every race is going to be different. It depends on what kind of speed we have, how the races play out. A lot of things can happen. But as far as being the favorite, I think it's hard to be the favorite when you haven't won a race all season. I know that some of these other guys have came down and won a lot of races, but I feel like I should have been able to get one. I don't think you can be the favorite and not have won a race. We've had some really solid runs, which is what it's been all year. Just like the ARCA season.
You can Matt Crafton it. You can Matt Crafton it.
Yeah, just like ARCA last year. we just top 5, top 7 every week. Just hang around and get a You said Matt Craft, and I was thinking Matt Kenseth. Either way, it's a Matt, and we're just trying to hang around.
Won a race, buddy.
Hey, there's still 4 left, right? And none of these other guys can come down and steal any more of them, right? So
as long as you're not punching somebody's nose in the pit road.
So we should win one. If we don't win one of these last 4 races with just these guys out here, I don't know that I could say I deserve to be a champion of anything if you can't go out here and win one of these last 4 when they all mean so much. So it should be interesting. I think we got a couple short tracks. I think Richmond and Gateway are coming up. I know we got Vegas and Homestead. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to those short tracks. You're kind of out of control of your own destiny. But Vegas, we were pretty good at Vegas. We were really good there in the Cup car last week. So I'm looking forward to that. Homestead's, it depends on what it's like when we get there. It's some builds we can go there and run the top. Some builds we can't. So it's all going to be determined when we get there. So it's been a great season, though. We got Dave on the truck, Dave Huckleberry up here. I know he does a lot with the Truck Series broadcast and the Wednesday night broadcast. So, Dave, we got you a little bit of something. It's not Victory Lane yet, but we got a regular season trophy or participation award, whatever you want to call it. And
you win the regular season, I'll double, or you win the playoffs, I'll double your salary.
we're going to go out there and try. It's going to be close. We got, Jeff's going to be tough to beat. Cutlip, man, I think Cutlip, I don't want to take anything away from anybody. Anybody can win this. It's in the playoffs, but Cutlip is so good on the long runs, and Trey Eisen's been so good at the short tracks. So,
you also got Fuller. Yeah, you got
Fuller's there, but I think they were discussing if he made enough starts. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I mean, Cutlip's so good at the short tracks and on the long run. He won on a long run there at Indianapolis. So I think that's going to be a guy at Richmond. You go to Gateway. Those are good tracks for Cutlip. I think those are good tracks for Fuller. So we're going to have to definitely maximize the mile and a halves and try to find some of the speed there at Richmond. I think Nick's pretty good at Richmond and whatever the car, so I might have to lean on Nick a little bit and see what he thinks we ought to be doing at Richmond.
Absolutely. Well, we congratulate you on the regular championship, but don't let it get it to your head. I know you'll have Nick up there with you when you go back racing. He tends to help you out in the spotting room. But other than that, Chris, we hope to see you again. Hope to get to talk to you again as the regular season is done. You've crowned that champion, but there's still one more to go for.
Yeah, and a shout out to you guys here, too, at ERN, everybody at Elite Racing Network. Dave does a lot of stuff over here, and not just because he's on my truck, but without Dave, ERN would be in a way worse spot. So thanks to you, thanks to him, everybody, Chad, everybody at the league, all the admins. Nick's getting ready to start doing some broadcast stuff, so he's getting ready to be Dave's new project here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
We'll see how it all turns out here, but congratulations. We'll get to talk to you again. All righty, Chris?
All right, thanks, guys.
And you mentioned Abbott. Abbott Motorsports was able to get 4 drivers into the playoffs, all 4 of their drivers. So shout out to Abbott Motorsports, able to get that done with Andrew Hardcastle and Corey Abbott making it in. Yeah, that's one question we haven't discussed is if Fuller made the enough starts there. That's something that Chad will make a decision. So the points may change, but this is how they are running right now as they stand. I think you can only miss out maybe 2 or 3 races, and I'm not sure which one it is. So I think he was right on that cut line there. So that will definitely shake things up if he gets out and it comes down to a tiebreaker deciding the last spot. I think both 15th and 16th place driver was tied. So it'd be interesting to see how it all actually shakes up. But you can always check our Elite Racing Network's website or Twitter page, and a lot of times the points are posted there, so you can always be able to check yourself as well. But other than that, we appreciate Nick coming in. You did pretty good there, Nick. I always enjoy you up here in the broadcast with me, and I think you turned up to one of the best super speed races Elite's probably ever had.
No, yeah, it was good to be back up here. It was a crazy race too, but always fun calling with you and Dave up here, and maybe come back for a couple more. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. So thank you, Nick. We'll be more than happy to have you here anytime you want to show up, because there's plenty of enough trucks to go around as we got more action to come next week. I believe it's going to be at Las Vegas on the 29th, so not going to want to miss that. That's going to be the first race of the playoffs. 14 drivers down to 4. Wing gets you locked in, so drivers are definitely going to put some practice time in to try to see how they can be able to get themselves in. But other than that, we appreciate Dave Huckleberry doing a wonderful job of broadcasting this race here, of producing and showing you these beautiful moments of the Elite Racing Network, and a classic. This is going to go down as a classic, I guarantee you. We appreciate everyone tuning in to be able to watch that amazing race. For all those that rewatching it, we appreciate you as well. We hope to see you again next Sunday at Las Vegas. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.